Welcome back to another episode, people of Elephant in the Room. This week we are at episode number 16. For everybody who this is their first time being here, I want to welcome you guys to my platform. For everybody who tune in every week or mostly every week, you already know I want to give my gratitude to you guys, and as I always do at this time, let you guys know how much you guys are appreciated. And everybody that is going to continue to support this platform going forward, much appreciated. You already know. This week, we're going to jump right into it. The first thing we got, we have a continuation of the Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James saga, drama, whatever you want to call it. Um, I don't know why what made Stephen A. Smith. Well, I do know what made him reply or respond or keep talking about this, but I had, I had one on my phone one day and I had seen that Stephen A. Smith was talking about he was going to swing on LeBron, and then I had seen the clip, but as the internet does, it always forms it a way to where, it can make you sound like anything they want you to sound like. So when I initially when I initially read the headline of Stephen A. Smith saying he would have swung on LeBron James, and then I instantly seen the clip of it, it was comical. It was funny. It was hilarious. Now, I knew something was up though because the clip that I seen was way too quick. It was like a 4 second clip of him saying, had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung. And that was it. So right there, I kind of knew it was something, but it was hilarious. The initial introduction to that whole statement by Stephen A. Smith, it was hilarious. But, you know, in all honesty, when I went and I looked at the not the entirety of the interview, but the whole segment as which he was talking about, he was just pretty much saying he was pretty much responding to people saying, oh, he was scared and LeBron would have slapped him and all of that. And as a response to that, that's when he said, had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung. Which for me, one, I do not blame him one bit. That is how you supposed to react as a grown man when another grown man either tries to or is successful at putting their hands on you. You supposed to defend yourself in the best way that you know possible. You know what I mean? And again, this is not a platform that promotes violence or anything like that. But again, you listening to a grown man here. And it's certain things that come with being a grown man. And ego is one of it. Integrity is another. Principle is another. And respect and demanding of respect is another thing that comes with just being a grown man. So when hearing the whole segment of when he was talking about LeBron and kind of responding to people saying he was scared, which is like not really like Stephen A. You know what I mean? It was kind of surprising, but again, him saying he was swung on LeBron, it's still funny. Yet I understand why he said it. You know what I mean? So um, LeBron had also went on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN, which is a direct like contender of like both Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee. They both work for ESPN, but they like two of the top dogs on that network. So just like if you have been following Stephen A. Smith, who has been a sports broadcaster for as long as I can remember, one thing he loves to do is be number one in any and everything. So due to the fact that Pat McAfee is so great at his job and also works at ESPN, they ain't kind of like a friendly competition, if you will. of who's the top dog in ESPN. So LeBron James doing what he does so well at is strategically going on that show, knowing that would give that show a bump up when Pat McAfee is in direct competition with Stephen A. Smith. So as faith would have it, Pat McAfee wouldn't have been doing his job if he didn't ask him about the drama that has been going on with him and Stephen A. Smith, and that is LeBron James. So LeBron addressed it, just basically, saying what I covered a couple weeks back. Like, yo, you don't as a father me. So many words, you don't as a father me. You could talk about anybody in terms of their game, what kind of game they had, what they need to work on, what they need to improve on, you know what I mean, what they need to stop doing, keep doing, you know, but you when you as a father, I need you to stop this. That's when it's like, all right, dude, you crossing the line. You know what I mean? And just like we all knew that. But and when I covered that a couple weeks ago, I told you guys like, you know, it was necessary for both of them to do what they did. Both Stephen A. Smith to do his job and cover him and saying that Bronny's not ready because he wasn't in the beginning. He just wasn't. But when you as a father somebody, you no longer make it about the game. You make it about being personal. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dealing with a cope of athletes who it don't take much to have them take something personal. It doesn't. So, and LeBron is included in that. LeBron is my absolute favorite athlete in the world, but we in the era of like they sensitive, but in this case, LeBron was on point and he had every right to feel how he felt when Stephen A. Smith hit him with that as a father stuff. But so I agree with both of them. They both doing their job. You know what I mean? Both LeBron James as a father, you know what I mean, and Stephen A. Smith as a analyst of the game. But now where things get crazy is when LeBron James went on Pat McAfee, Stephen A. Smith replied to that, and he started speaking about things that just didn't have anything to do with this whole ordeal. So as a reply to LeBron James going on Pat McAfee show and, just basically saying like, dude is on the Taylor Swift tour, like going, and he was going around anybody who would stick a camera in front of his face and speaking about this after he initially said he didn't even want to address it, which the world know that was bullshit. So as a reply to that, Stephen A. Smith went on his show First Take and started talking about, oh, I never brought up the fact that you wasn't at Kobe Bryant's funeral service. You wasn't at D Wade's Hall of Fame speech. As if any of that has anything to do with what he has an issue with you for or what y'all talking about. Now, once Stephen A. Smith does that, people, it is no longer, he's taking it outside of the realm of his job. Now you're getting even personal than you already were. And people, we are in a new day of these guys. And these guys, I'm talking about the sports analysts, the sports columnists, the broadcasters, the whatever. They actually think that they are bigger than the athletes that they speak about. They actually think their name holds just as much weight, if not more, than some of these superstar athletes. that's another conversation for another day that I will touch on. But to keep it in the realms of Stephen A. Smith and LeBron, it's like, yo, bro, why? Okay, the first thing, LeBron was at his funeral service, and he later corrected. Well, he he tweeted that he corrected himself, but when I heard when he did so-called correct himself, it was just he was still kind of like, well, I heard you was there, but you didn't show your face, like because the cameras weren't on him. How in the hell do you make Kobe Bryant's funeral service about him? So, along the facts of him being wrong about that, even if he was right, even if he didn't go to Kobe Bryant's funeral service, what in the entire fuck does that have to do with what y'all talking about? Him feeling like you disrespecting him as a father. Now you doubling down, you trying to double down on some shit that you wasn't all the way right for. So now when he tells his side of the story and LeBron James saying, yo, he's making it personal, you didn't do nothing but prove him right by his theory when you go on to say this stuff about him not attending things. And you like insinuating it as if he has some type of animosity towards a Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. But again, on top of that, you talking tough. It's uncalled for, man. It's really, really uncalled for, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But again, that's the ego part that can fuck around and do harm to you, both physically and socially. You know what I mean? Like, it's just relax, Stephen A, man. It's over. Once you say something, and this goes for anybody out there, that's why you have to be respectful. You know what I mean? You just do. Because once you say something, you can't tell the next person how to take it. You can't control it either. So if I say something about you, now if it's the truth and I'm saying it as respectfully as I possibly can, I can't help you there. But if I'm trying to be sarcastic, or you know what I mean, like funny or disrespectful in what I think about you or got to say about you, and I can say it better and a lot more respectful, and you feel disrespected about whatever I said or how I said it, I try my best to, next time I address whatever you felt disrespected by, I try my best to say it in a better way. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, Stephen A. Smith doubling down on this, or trying to, is just not. It makes for great entertainment, but I mean, man, you wrong, man. You wrong. And then, like I said, when you're not even fact checking, when you saying things on national television, it's you trying to rush to respond. And anytime you got a motherfucker talking fast, talking out of turn, saying shit that just ain't true, it's a pretty good indication that they're losing whatever debate you're having. You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, guys such as Stephen A. Smith, they need to get, a check-in. You know what I mean? He need to get treated like how he getting treated now. Because you got to understand and know You're not bigger than the athlete you're covering. And the reason why I feel like he feels that way is just because of what he said at the end of the segment when he said, well, you'll be retired soon. I'll be here long after you leave. Let's see how much I talk about you then. Stephen A. Smith, you'll be off television 2 years after LeBron James retires. I take that back. I'm not going to say you'll be off of television, but sports will not be the thing you're popular for when LeBron James retires. As y'all can possibly know, as anybody who follows him, he's touching into politics, things of that nature. So when he has his own show, he talks about more than just sports. He'll probably have his show. First Take will be off of television. First Take, which is also, I'm going to say his show because he headlines it. That will no longer be on television 2 years after LeBron James retires. With basketball being the way it is and not just being watchable, it's not that many people, it's not that many interesting people in the league. It's not that many people who love the game now. With football being, in my respectful opinion, rigged, and I was not the guy that thought that back in the day, but this past year, it is absolutely rigged. With football being in the state where it's at, it's going to continue to be popular, but again, it's not going to be enough to hold a show like First Take up. It's just not. You know what I mean? You don't have a star big enough in the league to be able to do that in the NFL or in the NBA once LeBron retires. And yes, I know you got Pat Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, things of that nature, but it won't. Sports shows like that will not be. It'll be ex-athletes having those type of shows. That's gonna take over. It's not gonna be these dudes who can't shoot a ball, throw a punch, or catch a football sitting up here telling you what a person should have done in pressure moments or in clutch situations, or it won't be. It won't be in existence anymore, in my opinion. I could be absolutely wrong. You know what I mean? But like I said, relax, Stephen A. Man, relax. Stand on sports. Juju Watkins, basketball player, USC, female basketball player. She recently tore her ACL. All prayers to her. She was recently in the news before she tore her ACL for being at another women's basketball game in attendance and sat next to Jaden Daniels, which is the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. Just had a phenomenal rookie season, took his team to the NFC title game his first year. And he's always, like, his mom is always known for keeping him away from women because she don't want, for whatever reason. I'm not about to sit up here and give you my opinion on why she's doing that, but you can pretty much, guess, and it'll be in a ballpark figure of not wanting him to get involved with any female that may sidetrack him off of his main goal of taking full advantage of what he has already accomplished so far in his life. Just as a parent, you can't critique that, right? But actually seeing it on television, it's kind of like, all right, you doing a bit too much. I can understand somebody who would say that because for those of you who are not familiar, Jaden Daniels and Juju Watkins, they were sitting next to each other, and then somehow his mom got in the middle of both of them, and now she's in the middle of her son Jaden Daniels and Juju Watkins. And the internet had its way with it. had all kind of jokes. Again, I do have an opinion on it, but again, like, I always feel funny like having opinions on like family members, mother, father, brother, sister, cousins, that they family. You know what I'm saying? So however they choose to deal with it, whatever way she choose to deal with handling her son, it obviously worked. So who in the hell am I to, yo, you shouldn't be doing that? Who in the hell am I to say that? But at the same point, seeing it, it's like, yeah, you doing too much. Yeah, like, yeah, you doing too much. Like, it's one thing to read it and like, yo, that's dope. She keeping him away from all the gold diggers, the hoes, the the conniving chicks, all that. She keeping his head on straight. It's one thing to read that and think that, but when you seeing it, it's like you doing too much. But again, all respects to that lady, his mom, Jaden Daniels' mom. She doing what she feel is best for her son, and obviously it's worked up until now, and it's continuing to work. Uh, that young man is super talented and has a hell of a career ahead of him. You know what I mean? He stays healthy, just like anybody else in any type of sport or in life, period. Um, but yeah, I don't really want to go into that because like I said, this show is about respect. You know what I mean? I don't want to get on here and go viral for being disrespectful or speak out of turn about shit I ain't got no business speaking on. You know what I mean? So shouts out to his mom, but looking at that, it did look like it was like, yo, that's a lot. Like, that's, you doing too much. You know what I mean? It damn near looked like, you know, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. It looked like she's doing too much. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Shouts out to everybody involved. Juju Watkins, please get well soon. All prayers to you. Another switching gears a bit, more on a serious note. Sauce Walka, in the past week was him and that's a artist who I'm a super fan of. I love Sauce Walka. Him and his artist Say So P was in Say So P's hometown of Memphis, and they both of them gentlemen got shot. His Sauce Walka got shot in the leg. He survived his gunshot wounds, but unfortunately, his artist Say So P did not. He, he died from that incident that happened. It's a lot that was said of why that shooting took place, from him taking money from somebody in the city and like running off with it, and not physically running off, but promising somebody, hey man, I'm gonna come on your show, I'm gonna do a feature, I'm gonna do this song for you, I charge this much, and then he'll take you pay me the money, and then I run off. You don't hear from me again. I don't know how true that is. I'm not here to promote that. uh Again, I just don't want to speak out of turn about shit, you know what I mean? But it was definitely a targeted attack on him. And as a result of that, Sauce Walka just was in the wrong place, wrong time. You know what I mean? I heard it was rumors that they stood over Sauce Walka, but they realized he wasn't the dude they were intending to get. So they let him live. Again, I do not know how true that is. Please do not take my word for the gospel, but that's the latest news on that. Again, rest in peace to that young man. Prayers to his family and friends and everybody who was affected by his loss. Sauce Walka had stayed in Memphis and was doing videos maybe about an hour after he got shot. Sauce Walka is a wild boy. That is somebody who I am a super fan of and I love. And, again, I wouldn't do no shit like that, but Sauce Walka, a wild boy. You know what I mean? So he got up out of Memphis safe though, but he stayed there for an extra 2 or 3 days. I don't know for what. And he made sure that we knew about it. Uh, Again, as much as I love Sauce Walka, that is like one of those situations where, okay, you trying to show us that you too tough, that you too gangster, you too street. Like, just as a grown, that shit was appealing when we was young, but as a grown man, like, it just stupid. Because when you grow older, you have people that, if your life work out the way you want it to, the older you get, the more and more people you're gonna have dependent on you, from kids to family members to parents. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna have more, the older you get, if your life work out the way you want and you are financially successful, you're gonna have more and more responsibilities on you. And when you have more and more responsibilities on you, you're not just living for you. You're not just living for you. You living for the people that's dependent on you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make smart moves. See, when you're young, you're only living for you. You're only living for you. Most of us. It's some teenagers and kids that have responsibilities really early. But for the most part, when you young, man, you just living for you. You trying to get the latest pair of kicks. You trying to get the hottest new brand of clothing that's out, and you trying to make sure you go to every party and every event to be able to show off what you got. But the older you get, the more responsibilities you will have, and we have to start living for the people who actually give a fuck about us. But again, you know what I mean? Sauce Walka, a guy who I love, and I'm happy that he got up out of there still alive. You know what I mean? But just in general, from Sauce Walka to everybody in the world, we just got to make smarter decisions in this life. You know what I mean? We just have to make smarter decisions in this life. I touched on it last week. Yella Beezy also is being charged for capital murder for the murder of Mo 3 in 2020, another Dallas, Texas rapper. He was tragically murdered on the expressway. They released the video. It looks absolutely horrific. Again, them two young dudes, man, young rich dudes, man, lost their life over some shit that don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? But, I'm not going to say too much about that case. Again, I don't want to, put out an opinion and it sways, one way or another. I don't want to do that. And plus, Yella Beezy, he's a nice rapper. He's nice. Mo 3 was another good sounding rapper, but I'm not really a fan of either one. So I'm not familiar of their issues or anything like that. So I'm going to wait till the facts come out. And just see where we go from there. To touch on the Diddy situation really quick. 17 cases, civil cases, have been dropped against him due to the fact that Tony Busby, the lawyer that had got caught lying and trying to push a case into court against Jay-Z, he was also representing like 17 other women in Diddy's civil cases. And due to the fact that he cannot practice law in the Southern District of New York, the cases got dropped. See why you should wait for the truth? I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that right there. This week was a light week, man. It was a light week in the news, but personally, I'm also dealing with some things. I didn't want to get out of here without saying rest in peace to my Uncle Mike. If you guys paid attention to last week's episode, I told you that my Uncle Mike was, he was in the clouds a little bit with his health. I was on my way to the hospital actually right after I got finished shooting last week's episode. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to, pull through. My uncle, he died about 2 days ago. Really, really necessary uncle of mine. And his son, my cousin, but more like my brother, Beans. You know, we brothers, so it hit me. It hit me. So if I seem to be a little off this episode, it's because of that. I apologize for it, but as I promised you guys from episode 1, I will be coming to see you guys. I will be in front of you guys' faces every week. Every week, no matter what, I'ma do my best to keep my word. You know what I mean? And that's something I wanted to do. My Uncle Mike was the latest uncle that died. I lost, in the span of the last 4 months, I lost 3 uncles. Yeah, so it's a little rough. It's a little rough, but like I said, we're gonna keep it in stride. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep going. We're not gonna feel sorry for ourselves. We're gonna continue to be there for one another. And it's just a reminder. Love yours, man. Love your family, man. Love them, because you don't know how long we got on this earth. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to I don't even want to bring the morale of this whole episode down and talking about this. But, it's just something on my heart that I wanted to get off. You know what I mean? And let you guys know that, if I seemed off in this episode, it's definitely because of that. So rest in peace of my Uncle Mike, my Uncle Pee Wee, who died a month and a half ago. And then my Uncle Fletcher, who died in November. Rest in peace to all 3 uncles. You guys will be greatly missed. And it is incredibly sad that you guys are gone, but we will continue to hold it down. We will continue to represent this family right, and we will continue to have each other's back, just like everybody out there in the world should do. You know what I mean? Let's do what makes sense, people. Let's do what makes sense for our loved ones, our kids, and ourselves. And please, y'all, health is wealth. Health is wealth. Take your ass to the doctor. I don't give a damn if you got a bone ache on your forearm. Go to the doctor, see what it's about. I don't care what type of pain you having. Take your ass to the doctor, because that one doctor visit can prolong your life. To see your kids get older, have kids of their own, get married, graduate from college, close on the house. We in that time in our lives, people. Let's start doing what makes sense for all our loved ones, everybody who we love, and ourselves. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and in this episode, you know what I mean? Again, I apologize to you guys if I seem off. It seem like I'm rushing. I don't seem like my normal self. Yeah, some stuff going on. You know what I mean? But again, I want to keep my word with you guys and give you guys an episode every week. I also want to give a big shout out to my brother Wink. He just had his first speaking engagement at Bennett High School, which is my old high school, Bennett Tigers. He's a friend of mine who just served 25 years and just got out of jail like a month ago, and already moving at a speed and bullet pace. You know what I mean? As to the things he's trying to accomplish. And again, I choose to shout him out, and it's so important to shout him out because that's one dude who told me what he was gonna do, And it wasn't just jail talk. He's out here and he's doing it. You know what I mean? So that's a guy who might as well break the news to you now. He will be my first guest ever on this show. So what we trying to do right now, we trying to work out the schedule, see what days is beneficial for both of us. Location, so the location may change. But I have to, that will be the first guest on my show. It will not be anybody else. It will be him. Because again, especially in this world now, with the things we dealing with, and us being so worried about other people's opinions and looking cool and being cool for other people who just don't matter in your life in the grand scheme of things, he can share some information with the world that I think will be helpful to us young black individuals in this world, man. Like, I'll pause for a minute because it's not just black people, but it's predominantly black people. Black young adults growing up, never giving themselves a fair chance at life because temporary decisions you would spend the rest of your life having to deal with. You know what I mean? So that's somebody who's very necessary in this world. So big shouts out to my brother. That was just one speaking engagement. He has more, but again, I'll let him tell you that at a later date when he's on the Elephant in the Room platform. So that'll do it for this week, people. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me as always. Again, I want to let you guys know my latest project, Gold Tape, is out now, available everywhere. Please check it out. If you have already, check it out again and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It is an absolute classic. And while you're at it, check out all 3 projects. Again, like I told you guys last week, I'm going to touch on it again. Scale, the clothing brand by me and my brother Larry Legend. We are currently getting things together for the summertime, so please have your checkbooks ready. Don't be hitting my line for no discounts, none of that. Be ready to go. I'm giving you guys full warning, 2-3 months in advance. All brand new shit will be coming this summer. Scale clothing brand. Shouts out to my brother Larry Legend. You know what I mean? As y'all already know, it's my guy, it's my brother. So be prepared for that. And other than that, that'll do it for this week of Elephant in the Room. Again, stay safe, people. Stay sucker free, and continue to do what makes sense for you and the loved ones that you have in your life. And keep the main thing, people, each and every day. Until next time, people, I'll see you next week. Elephant in the Room signing out. Funderburg.